As of now, Kingdom Hearts storylines are decently long and vast. With the multitude of games in the series, there is a lot to take in, from the time travel to go-kart racing with Pete, which many aspects of the stories have a large importance, like transferring hearts from one person to another, and then lesser important things like how Mickey lost his shirt in the Realm of Darkness. But the thing is, knowing what is going to be needed to enjoy Kingdom Hearts 3. But maybe you won't need to know anything but the basics, or maybe you won't need to know anything at all. When it comes to, I say, sequel main titled games of the series, they should be able to stand alone from the rest of the series. And even if there is a vast universe built before it in previous games, it would still build on the lore of the world and continue the overarching story. And a very good example of this is The Witcher 3, a game part of a series with a massive world and a ton of lore. And the game balances a new story into the series while still incorporating every aspect of previous game's lore, but still giving new players a story that lives on its own, which you're trying to find Geralt's daughter, Ciri. And along the way you run into characters from the rest of the series, and for those that have played the other games, they will know the story and the backstories to them, while they're still introduced in a way where new players just find them as new characters that they can learn about. And that is how sequels to games, I believe, should work, or main series title games at least. While Kingdom Hearts 3 is slightly different because the story is an overarching one that has been building over a few games, to where the main story in The Witcher 3 is completely new to the series. It is still very possible to make Kingdom Hearts 3 a game that can stand on its own from the rest. And technically, we've already seen the series go through this once with Kingdom Hearts 2. While many might say it was very confusing at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, and understanding why you were playing as Roxas and why Sora was in an egg, these are mysteries that are eventually solved for the most part in the game, and wasn't the overriding plot to the game. Hell, past the first few hours, those aspects become irrelevant for a while, as the story becomes decently simple. These dudes in black are called nobodies who were born when Heartless Arc also created, and these people in black want to be whole again, so they try to form Kingdom Hearts to become whole, with a few Disney worlds sprinkled in. While later, yes, we learn new things that are retconned in, and then change the organization's actual purpose for the overarching story, as the game right then, it wasn't that hard to understand or get through. So this concept of creating main sequel titles isn't new to Nomura. You can see that in the setup for 3. For the most part, with the release of HD remixes for PS4, the setup of Dream Drop Distance, the secret cutscene or 2.9 cutscene at the end of 0.2, all set up for Kingdom Hearts 3 to be as simple as you can get it at this point in the series with everything that's been building up. The base story stripped down will be 7 good guys must gather to fight against 13 evil guys who are trying to form a super powerful weapon, and the 7 good guys have to go stop them, but after 4 of the good guys find 3 good guys that got lost. A sort of simple premise when it comes down to it, and while yes, there will be many details that ones that have no experience with the series will face, but like with how Kingdom Hearts 2, Roxas had dreams, giving recaps to those who hadn't played Kingdom Hearts 1, and there was also an opening cinematic, you can basically bet that this game will surely have some form of both of those. It just might be one long opening cutscene, or a very long tutorial area, or maybe both. And overall, you might not even have to know this stuff to enjoy the game. But let's say you're new to the series and don't want to go into the series completely blind and want to understand most or just some of the story to what is happening. Then there are a few options. Either you don't want to play all the games and you just want to know what is happening, then you're going to go on YouTube and look up story videos about the series. Or if you don't mind playing the games or watching some movies and you own a PS4, then I would say go buy a 1.5 plus 2.5 and 2.8, which contains basically the entire series up to this point. And if you would want to know about Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key or Union Key, then you will either need to play through the online free-to-play mobile game and keep up with that, or you can also look up story videos and wait for the story to end, because it is decently canon, just not sure how important, but it is canon. Also, if you don't want to play everything and only care about the important games to the series or Kingdom Hearts 3, but you aren't sure how important each game is, then I'll give a quick rundown of each game with some spoilers. Kingdom Hearts 1 is introducing the series of Kingdom Hearts in the main cast, also the idea and concept of the Keyblade, the enemies Heartless, and much more, and is an essential game to know and understand the world that this series takes place. Chain of Memories, the game after Kingdom Hearts 1, isn't inherently the most important overall, and is more of a bridging game between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, but introduces the organization. Naminé is also introduced as somewhat of an important character, some development for Riku happens, and an introduction and foreshadowing of future characters in places in Kingdom Hearts 2 is here. Next is Kingdom Hearts 2, happening after Chain of Memories, is a decently important game and contains a lot of foreshadowing for Birth by Sleep, more introductions for the organization, and the concept of nobodies is truly introduced. There's also the introduction of a very important character named Roxas, background to some characters like Ansem the Wise, and technically is retconned as a failed plan set up by a Xehanort that you would learn later on. Then we have 358 by 2 days, which happens during Chain of Memories and right before the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2. And overall, not needed to understand anything really, or the whole scope of the series. It's more of backstories to Roxas from Kingdom Hearts 2, Axel, an organization member, and overall the organization background. There's also the introduction of Xion, who isn't inherently important to the entire story as of now. Also showing us how Roxas got to where he was in Kingdom Hearts 2. Then we have Recoded, which basically happens right after Kingdom Hearts 2, which is the least essential to any of the games in this series, only having 1 or 2 cutscenes that mean anything. Then Birth by Sleep, happening 10 years before Kingdom Hearts 1, and is essential in introducing the main villain of the series. And it is needed to know who the lost Keyblade Wielders are that we're trying to find in Kingdom Hearts 3, and how they are connected to the main plot, and how they ended up where they are in Kingdom Hearts 3. And also the concept of the Keyblade is introduced here, and how to summon maybe the real Kingdom Hearts. Next, Dream Drop Distance, which happens basically after 2 Encoded. Decently important and almost essential, basically a bridging game like Chain of Memories, except this is for between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3, and is a lot more complicated. It introduces the multiple versions of time travel, the concept of the Rikusen Sigil, development of for Sora and Riku taking the Mastery Exam, the Sleeping Realm and Dream Eaters, the introduction of young Xehanort, and then the real plan of Xehanort, and also multiple other concepts. Then we have 0.2, which fills the gaps to what happened to Aqua in the Realm of Darkness after Birth by Sleep, and is not inherently essential to understanding the story. Again, more filling gaps. And it tells us why King Mickey was in the Realm of Darkness in Kingdom Hearts 1, the origin of the Kingdom Key D-Blade, and what its use was, why Mickey lost his shirt, why Mickey left Aqua in the Realm of Darkness. Then we have the 2.9 cutscene right before Kingdom Hearts 3 in the setup for that. This is a cutscene that happens at the end of 0.2 and is essential for knowing the setup of Kingdom Hearts 3, showing the setup to what each character's goal is for the beginning of the game, being Sora, Kairi, Riku, Mickey, and Axel. Then we have the controversial Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. Not positive how needed it is as of now, but introduces and goes more in depth about the Keyblade War, and later introduces a character that connects to the main story. It also contains a Keyblade that connects to the main story too, and is said to be canon to connect to Kingdom Hearts 3. Then we have Back Cover, which is a movie and basically another side of the first half of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, and giving us backstories and motivations to characters in Kingdom Hearts Key's story. And also it brings in a box that supposedly connects to Kingdom Hearts 3. And there you have it. If you want to know the details and build up to Kingdom Hearts 3, then those are, for the most part, are an idea of how important each game is in understanding the story building up to 3. But hopefully, if done well, in the end, very little knowledge will be needed, and it is possible to do, but with how complicated the story to this game series is, it will be very interesting to see how Nomura pulls it off. Nonetheless, what do you think? Will Kingdom Hearts 3 be able to stand on its own, or will everybody on the Xbox One and those who haven't played anything of the series be extremely confused? Otherwise, my name's Arcane, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.